After having 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month, here is the one tactic that every agency owner we've worked with that scaled past $1 million per month has in common with their leads. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly what that is and how you can actually generate and create these high intent leads. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Trey, I'm the owner of Lead Lab. And as mentioned, we've helped 550 agents deposit $40,000 into their bank account over the last 3.5 years. And this YouTube channel is specifically set up for agents, agency owners, and individuals who are looking to learn how to grow, develop, and actually go out and implement some of the tactics, behaviors, and strategies that these top individuals are using. So let's hop right into the video. Now, there's this thing I call the middle ground. Okay, we're gonna hop right into the video. The middle ground is essentially between older leads and fresh leads, okay? So there's this idea that people have that I have to get all these really old leads for a really low price, throw them into a CRM or dollar, and that's how I'm gonna grow and scale, keep my agents super profitable, and it's gonna be amazing. But here's what actually happens. Individual agents and agencies that do that, here's the problem they run into. You find a vendor, even somebody like myself, you buy all of our agents leads, right? You crush it, you're making a lot of money, you become dependent and start creating systems around it, thinking that it's infinitely scalable. And then what happens is the quality diminishes, the lead vendor goes in, out of business, or they run out of leads, okay? So let's go with the first one, quality diminishing. Now, when you're buying agent leads from any company, one of the biggest things that you need to realize is that the value will change because it's based off of who's working the lead. You have better agents working the lead on the front end, the agent leads aren't as good. It just is what it is. You have worse agents working the leads on the front end, the better the agent leads are. Now, if you have a mixed bag, it's a mixed bag, but that also affects you because if you're looking to build your business off cost to acquire a client, etc., you do not have control of what you get. You just get what you get. So you're really building systems around sales scripts, which is okay, but that's only part of the equation. Now, second fold. The second thing that you can do is the lead vendor is non-existent. Now, typically what I tell people is you want to look for lead vendors that have been in the game for 3+ years. That means that they've been passed through trial and error. They've probably had seasons where they've lost a lot of agents. They've had a lot of people churn. They probably went through business model reconsideration, potentially branding, switching. Is all important, especially in the lead game, because you're pumping out so many people and you're selling so small units, right? It's really low ticket. If you really think about how much people are paying, you're paying $20 a lead, that's low ticket. It's not like you're paying $5,000, $10,000 up front, right? For when you're just running leads. So it's very easy for people to work leads for a month and then start complaining and kicking, and you have to keep the quality super high. Now, for aged leads, the vendor can run out because they just stop selling on the front end, so they don't produce any more aged leads, so they don't have any back end aged leads to actually sell to you, right? So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is there's just overall inconsistency, right? And they just run out, right? And that's an instance I'll be transparent that we've ran into tons of times. We tell people, right? Like we don't flip leads 3, 4, 5 times like most other companies. When it's sold, it's taken out, right? So as we scale, we have more people. Yes, we get more aged leads, but then more people want to buy aged leads. So it's this 50-50 split at all times. But sometimes we'll have big agency come through and try to buy thousands and thousands of leads per day. And we would love to suit them, but at the end of the day, we're like, hey, look, you can buy a lot, but we can't sell you all of them, because if we sell you all of them, right, and then next guy comes around the block and he wants to buy them, we're not just gonna flip them and sell them to him too. That's just not how we move. And that's okay. Some people could say I'm right or wrong for that, but I like my brand integrity. Some companies won't do that, but if you do just keep buying, once again, the quality is gonna diminish, right? Which means that they're either gonna run out or the quality is gonna diminish. That's the third pillar. Now, the reason why aged leads work initially is because if you get really good at selling, you can get a lot of cheap leads and flip them and make crazy profit margins. I mean, you could spend $500 and close 6 deals. Cost to acquire a client sub $100 and you're smacking out $1,500 to $2 grand. I mean, you're sometimes 100x when you really go back and break down all of your numbers. But that's not the point, right? The point is more or less that it is very difficult to scale and create consistency. Now, when you move to a higher intent lead, right? Here's the other problem. Higher intent leads work really well. And you can create your own agent lead infrastructure if you buy enough, but you have to have enough hitters in your agency to buy. So typically, here's how this works. You have agent lead bandits that, can get anywhere from 10 to 15 agents tops, just ripping agent leads, and they're pumping out $400,000, $500,000 a month as an agency. And then you have high intent, bandits, if you want to call them, and they're doing the same thing, 10, 15, maybe even 20 guys ripping at a high frequency. They're pushing 500, 600. But the combo of both is what gets you close to $1 million. And the agencies work with that scale past $1 million and keep scaling. They figure out this thing, which is the middle ground. Okay, so middle ground is where essentially you have a lead that is between, let's call it $18 to about $30, right? Which means that new agents can buy it after they work aged leads. High intent agents have something to supplement to increase their lead flow. And agents that haven't been exposed to others and come into the game go straight from aged and they stay there. Now, what this does, this creates consistency, right? And predictability. Most of the times people try to satisfy this itch with what they're calling self-gen, which is just people running their ads. The problem with that is that it's not as scalable because these individual self-gen companies that are selling you these, hey, pay a $1,500 retainer, it sounds good on paper. And so they start getting too many people and they want to do it because I've ran my business like that when I first started because it's safe. You're going to get $300, $500, $1,000 a month. You get 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 clients. You make your 100K, you're good, right? The problem is keeping those clients and you're exposing them to getting really, really, really low costing leads. They don't really factor in the retainer. There's always other things that go into it or they factor in the retainer. And then, it creates a lot of issues. So this middle ground is where a lot of people struggle to create. An agency owner specifically, you need to have like a lead that's in between that range that's super duplicatable and you can churn it out. Now, we actually create these for our clients. That's one of our big prop models that we can do for people that do partner up with us. But if you're just an individual agent looking to do it, you need to find a lead vendor or lead company that's got that $18 to $30 range lead. And you need to train your guys on how to get really well. Now, here's the thing. When you're at like sub $10 age leads, you can buy tons of them and you can train on the skill. So you get a lot of volume, but it's not as scalable because it's not predictable with how many you can get. And when you're buying $35, $40, $50 high intent leads plus, right, which also is not bad, it's not as easy for the newer agents. So these middle ground require an immense level of skill. This is not for everybody. This is for these agency owners that are at 600 to $1 million, trying to crack $1 million plus and just trying to keep scaling. You need to find this middle ground. You need to. Or, like I said, you're just gonna you can keep stacking those people, aged and fresh, aged and fresh. There's tons of people that have absolutely crushed it. Some of them I'm super cool with. I mean, they're making, 8, 9, 10 million a month. Their agency is like they're crushing it. Some of them are doing 15, 20,000 a month, 20 million a month. So what I'm saying is the goal though is not necessarily for you to try to make this middle ground lead an aged lead or a super high intent lead. It's just a fresh lead that requires an immense amount of skill. What do I mean skill? Your scripting overcomes the fact that you have to add extra pre-qualifying questions. There's this huge fascination with pre-qualifying questions. I think the right pre-qualifying questions are good. Ones that actually create intent. Hey, if when you hit submit, one of our licensed life insurance agents will be reaching out to you. Do you consent to be contacted by a licensed life insurance agent? Like, that's a really good question. Adding in there, like, what's your main financial goal, right, is okay. It's not horrible, but it doesn't really do anything. It makes you think that you can use it, but when you have a great level of skill, right, you just call, you speak with tonality, and then you use your words to create the script. Now, the reason you do that is you can always change your script. You can always change your sales process. You can train people on how to sell. You cannot change the cost per lead if you're buying from somebody. If a lead is $25, the lead's $25. The lead's $5, it's $5. But here's the key. You want to generate a fresh lead at the lowest possible cost for you then, right, to be able to develop a skill to compensate for the lower cost, but that is something that you can control. And then you can scale the heck out of it. Because me personally, if I was an agent right now and I was starting all over again, I wouldn't care about a thing. I'd say, look, dude, I want good numbers and I want straightforward ads. Give me the cheapest cost possible. I don't want any data points. Why? Because I know what happens. You just have to call people with the right conviction and repaint the picture of what they saw and you're good. Hey, John, I'm giving you a call. You were looking into mortgage protection. You watched a quick little video. I was talking about mortgage protection, life insurance. You listed your email here as this. Is that right? Yeah. Perfect. Whoa, that's my... So if I can get leads in for $5, $10 and train people on how to sell those, if I have $10, $15, I'm taking $15 over 55. We sell ours for 55, right? But they have tons of questions. They go to a landing page. I'm going Facebook for them, right? Keep it simple. But that's me, because at the end of the day, you can train skill. Like if the lead costs $50, but I could take all the questions off and it cost me $20, It's like I'm doing that every day of the week. All I gotta do is just figure out the script and the ads and how to put them together, and I can train people. So I can basically get 2 leads for every one, especially if it's text verified. Oh yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. If the ad's not changing, sign me up. Right? Because at the end of the day, we're not trying to get them to book a call. We're not trying to guarantee anything. We just want names and numbers. And then I can then turn around and give those as agents leads. Like, you need to have systems that plug into that, right? That's how you grow, right? That's how we force growth and we help people grow. So it's all about understanding and detailing exactly what you need to do in order to grow. And the quicker that you can analyze that and then make the decision of what is this middle ground lead and how am I gonna develop a skill set, the faster you're gonna grow, the more consistent your leads will be and the better people will be. But you have to match the sales and the training together. It has to come together. If it does not, excuse me, if the sales and the marketing do not come together, then it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So I hope that makes sense. Hope that's straightforward. It's a quicker video today. Hope this helps. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.